Crown of the Shattered Queen Ezreal and Divine Sunderer Akali are two extremely underrated setups popping off in preseason. In today's video, we'll be breaking those down along with 8 others that are flying under the radar. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. And with that being said, let's get started. Although top lane Akali is most commonly played as a burst assassin, the build leading to the best results in 11.24 is super unique. A Divine Sunderer rush into Shadow Flame second is what many pros are spamming and winning a ton with. Even stat-wise, Divine wins more than any other mythic on Akali. Akali is allowed to thrive with these AD variant builds due to the AD ratios she has in her kit. Every single damaging ability has an AD ratio, so building hybrid is very lethal. With Divine, you'll have a ton of durability and consistent damage output from the Spellblade passive and Akali's own passive proc. Build works especially well when you're up against a bruiser top. If you end up building full AP, they can just rush Merc Treads and shut down a large chunk of your combo. By building Divine, you have a great mix of physical and magic damage, which makes it difficult for the enemy to itemize against. Complete build is Divine Rush into Shadow Flame second and Zhonya's third. Conqueror buffs are a nice indirect boost for Akali in 11.24, followed by Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Coup de Grace. Best secondaries include Bone Plating and Overgrowth. This next setup is extra spicy as we have not only a build, but a rune setup being heavily slept on for Akshan top lane. First Strike is the new OP setup as Akshan gains a ton of value from the rune in many melee matchups. Champions with high mobility and CC lockdown are the only ones to worry about, so banning one of Jax or Aurelia will really help you out. It's all about paying attention to First Strike cooldown and looking to proc it when the enemy goes for last hits. If you can continuously execute on this throughout the laning phase, then you'll amass a ton of gold very fast. Complete rune page is First Strike with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Optimal secondaries are Conditioning and Overgrowth. Build is super interesting as you'll rush the standard Immortal Shield Bow, but follow with Cyrilda's Grudge and Rapid Fire Cannon. Koreans are spamming this one in solo queue and it's performing so much better than crit. Your overall kiting power and survivability is insane due to the slow from Grudge and extra range from Fire Cannon. Since you're running First Strike, you'll hit Cyrilda's Grudge spike extremely fast and start melting everyone with the Armor Pen. Is it really preseason if tank Hecarim isn't dominating the meta? Divine is still by far the most common rush for the majority of the player base at over 70%. Chemtank has yet to really catch on, while pros like Yosik and Peanut have been spamming the build in solo queue. It's all about obtaining as much movement speed as possible. With Chemtank, Predator, Ghost, and Deadman's Plate, the enemy ADC can do nothing but laugh at how useless they are against this setup. Your backline access is impeccable, and ability to find picks on priority targets is the best for any jungler. Core build is Chemtank into Deadman's Plate second and Force of Nature third. Predator is the keystone with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ingenious Hunter. Best secondaries are Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. A build that has turned Warwick into an absolute godlike pick for the lower elos is still super undervalued. The 2-item core of Sunfire Aegis into Titanic Hydra offers immense carry power. Sunfire was recently buffed, and in combination with Titanic Hydra, you have so much consistent damage and tankiness. What really allows this build to thrive is from running lethal tempo as the keystone. Lethal attack speed enables you to pump out strong, consistent DPS, while Titanic and Sunfire keep you extremely durable. Factor in the damage reduction from Warwick's E combined with the built-in sustain from his kit, and you have such a potent solo queue carry. Full build is Sunfire Rush into Titanic Hydra second and Sterix Gage third. As for runes, grab Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Optimal secondaries include Eyeball Collector and Relentless Hunter. A mid laner who's starting to garner a lot more attention in 11.24 but is still on the underrated side of things is Corki. Instead of running the standard fleet footwork, First Strike is leading to insane results. Corki has always been a champion with a monstrous mid-game spike, so First Strike complements that very well. Especially in melee matchups, you can rack up a ton of extra gold early on. The complete rune page is very scaling oriented as you will pick up Freeboots along with Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. It's all about coming online super hard at around the 20-minute mark. Core build is an Immortal Shield Bow Rush into a Manamune second and Essence Reaver third. Bar none, the most undervalued mid laner in 11.24 is Zilean. Everyone forgets about the champion, but the recent mage item changes have been absolutely amazing for Zil. With Everfrost seeing a cost reduction of 400 gold and now Archangels sliced by 400 gold in 11.24, Zilean's core build is accessible super early on. It's no secret how broken Kassadin has become with the recent Archangels buff, and Zilean is not too far behind. With how the preseason meta is shaped out and so many lethal tempo abusers running rampant, Zilean fits in perfectly. If you have a fed Jax by your side, providing him speed boosts along with a revive gives yourself legitimate 2v5 potential in the mid game. Zilean's core build is an Everfrost Rush followed by Archangel 2nd and Cosmic Drive 3rd. Be sure to grab Lucidity Boots as well to amplify your haste stack. Summon Aerie is the best keystone with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Highest value secondaries are Biscuits and Cosmic Insight. Ezreal builds have been constantly evolving over the past year, and in 11.24 they become even more unique. Crown of the Shattered Queen is being slotted in as the mythic item by the majority of pro players and is seeing great success in solo queue by the few players that are using it. Since you're building Crown, this means you have to give up on Divine Sunderer and Trinity Force, which makes the entire core really interesting. Essence Reaver is back as the rush item with Manamune slotted in 2nd. Crown of the Shattered Queen is then purchased 3rd. Majority of ADCs don't have the luxury of building Crown, but since Ezreal has a few AP ratios in his kit, the item works well. Of course, the main reason as to why Crown is such an enticing pickup is the passive damage reduction. Ezreal already has great mobility and long range, so when you add on Crown passive, he becomes extremely difficult to deal with later on. Not only will Crown passive save you from being dove on, but it opens up windows where you can play extremely aggressive. Passive lasts 1.5 seconds, and at 3 items, it's very easy for Ezreal to burst a squishy within that time frame. This means if you see a high priority target caught out of position, you can confidently dive right in and one-shot the enemy before they have a chance to fight back. Full rune page's first strike with Free Boots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Presence of Mind and Bloodline are the best secondaries. Deft and Gumayusi have been experimenting with a new off-meta bot lane pick in preseason. Not just your typical marksman though, as the champion is Xerath with First Strike as the keystone. First Strike Xerath works exceptionally well due to the long range on W and Q. You'll continuously harass the enemy whenever they go for last hits, and when you eventually run out of mana, it's no issue at all. Teleport will be your secondary summoner spell. The strength behind the pick is to farm as much gold as possible from your opponent early on, teleport back to lane, and pressure the enemy as they sit helplessly under tower. Ideally, you pair Xerath with a support who has some good CC lockdown so that your all-in potential is foolproof. Complete rune page is First Strike with Free Boots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Grab Mana Flow and Transcendence for secondaries. Build Zileandri's Rush into Horizon Focus 2nd and Void Staff 3rd. As a result of the Glacial Augment rework, it's become a very strong yet underrated pickup on Morgana support. Whenever you land a bind on the enemy ADC in lane, there's great opportunity to strike for the kill. Enemy will be forced to fight back as they are stuck in the CC, which makes the damage reduction from Glacial synergize extremely well. For many other supports who have stuns in their kits, the Glacial damage reduction isn't as impactful since they're not able to attack when stunned. Enemy can fight back for the entirety of Morgana's snare, so damage reduction from Glacial makes capitalizing on pick plays a lot more reliable. Another factor that makes Glacial so strong is due to the slow scaling off 100% of your CC's duration. Morg Q bind lasts for 3 seconds, and the base slow from Glacial is 3 seconds, so that means you will receive a 6-second slow from Glacial. This is what makes the rune so strong, as you can bind the enemy, easily line up Everfrost Root after they come out of bind, and then have your Q back off cooldown to snare them again. The potential chain CC lockdown is absolutely ridiculous. After Glacial, pick up Perfect Timing, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Mana Flow and Transcendence. Everfrost and Dazania's 2nd and Demonic Embrace 3rd works great for the build. And the final setup we have to share with you guys today is one for Sett support that's giving him a great boost in power. It's another Glacial Augment oriented page, which works insanely well with Sett's E. The main issue Sett has is reaching a target and sticking onto them. By running Glacial, if you can get in range of E, your ability to capitalize on catch plays rises exponentially. As the Glacial slow triggers on E hit, you can then run in behind the opponent and ult them back into your team. Without Glacial slow, you're very reliant on having flash available to pull off this same kind of play. Build path consisting of a turbo Chemtank rush offers Sett a highly reliable hard engage combo. You pop Chemtank speed boost, lock the enemy down with E, and then ult them back into your team. Optimal rune page is Glacial with Hex Flash, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight. For secondaries, roll with Nimbus Cloak and Celerity. Core build is a Chem Tank Rush, followed by Deadman's Plate 2nd and Thornmail 3rd. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent Challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you are serious about improving. And that's going to wrap up everything for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.